Isn't it amazing? It's insanely interesting, actually, that as adults we go back and we think, I wish I could choose my family. I wish I could choose the circumstance under which I was developed, under which I was grown, under which my childhood was. Those are all things that perhaps we have that go through our minds. It's futile. We can't. It's not what happens. Now, there are times where children just don't belong in a certain situation. They're taken from that situation and they're placed in another. My wife and I served as foster parents for a number of years. And in the 40 some odd children who went through our home, they were in circumstances, each of them in circumstances, some more dire than others, but each of them were in circumstances in which it wasn't in the best interest of that child to be in that place at that time. And so they were taken from that. We got to have them for a short period of time, and then they were moved on from there. Some back into their homes, some back into another situation. Very early in my career, I used to teach a course called Working with Children from Dysfunctional Families. It was interesting to teach that course to see how many people came from different situations. And in the thousands of people that I taught, there were always people who would tell me about their lives, tell me about their story, their family, the things that they grew up with. It's so fascinating how resilient people truly are. And when we go through this personal experience that we have within our families, it is a very, very interesting dynamic to see how we grow and develop and how we become who we are today and what we are today. Now, I recently lost my mother. And though that was a difficult thing, it was a true blessing for her, given the situation of her life. I'm so very grateful for everything that she gave to me. She was not acclaimed in any way. In fact, she didn't even graduate from high school. But the lessons learned from her, I would never trade. The lessons learned from my father, I would never trade. Now, I may not have always appreciated my parents for who they were, but the older I got and the more wisdom that I possessed, the more I understood that it was a divine plan that placed me with them at that time for things that I needed to gain, things I needed to learn, for the things that I needed to do. So was it perfect? No. It was never intended to be perfect. That's not the plan. I didn't have a perfect family, and you know what? I'm not raising a perfect family. Oh my goodness, far from it. We're doing the best we know how to do. We're doing the best we can. And we have so much joy, so much happiness, so much opportunity to influence one another's lives for good. That's what families are there for. Do we fall short? Yes. Are you going to fall short? Yes. The personal experience is all about doing the best you can to make it the best you can, and to be grateful for the opportunities that you have. Be grateful for the children that you have the opportunities to raise. Be grateful for the grandchildren that you have. Be grateful for the parents that you have, the siblings that you have, the wife that you have, the husband that you have. And perhaps those are future for you. Whatever the situation is, be grateful for the situation that you have. The situation that you possess right now is the very situation that you need to be in. Embrace it, trust it, know and understand that that's what Heavenly Father has in mind for you. When it's time for something else, that something else will present itself. It will happen. Should I be married to the person I'm married to? No! There's no way I should have been married to somebody that good, somebody that wonderful, somebody that gracious, somebody that who possesses the skills and the talents that she does. There's no way I should be married to her, but I am. Has that personal experience for me always been just a wonderful treasure? No, I haven't always considered it that way, and it hasn't always been that way. But it is what I have. It is what is meant for me. And I have to have faith in that. I have to trust that Heavenly Father knows better than I do what I need, and knows better than I do who I need to be around and who I need to be with and who I need to influence. And with that, my job is to do the best I can to be present, to give everything that I have to give to those that I've been entrusted with. That's what I'm here for. You're there for the same reason. In whatever situation you're in, your situation is just like mine. Every choice surrounding your situation was not necessarily made by you. It's the situation you find yourself in. We do this day in and day out. That is the experience that we call life. In this personal experience, there are many choices that we make along the way, and there are many choices that we just don't have an opportunity to make. So when you were growing up, you grew up in a family. You didn't consciously choose your parents in this mortality. You didn't consciously choose your siblings in this mortality. Those were all things that you found yourself in the circumstance of. How we regard those experiences is completely up to us. How those experiences are created are not. What a true blessing it is when we can differentiate those things, when we can understand that we're in circumstances that are beyond our control, that are beyond our creation. But what we do with those circumstances, the lessons that we learn, the opportunities that we have to give, that is completely up to us. The personal experience is one of the most difficult experiences, one of the most difficult journeys that you'll ever take. It's tough to get it right. Hopefully, yours is a wonderful experience, that you grew up in a wonderful place with great parents and wonderful siblings, and your family was something that you treasure. If that's not the case, what did you learn? There's such great strength that comes from that. My parents were not perfect. My situation was not perfect. My upbringing was not perfect. There were many circumstances in my upbringing, some in fact quite tragic, that have affected me and continue to affect me and will always affect me. What do I gain from that? What strengths do I have that I wouldn't have had those things not occurred? Your own personal experience is largely up to you. It's largely up to what happens right here. As you truly understand what that means, it will open up so many opportunities for you. As you begin to see family as the true blessing that it is, irrespective of the circumstances of that family, your life will take on new meaning, new peace, new understanding. And your experience will then jump to the next level. It is such a freeing thing to get there. Thank you for being with me on this Primacy Podcast. I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.